Mastering grammar, understanding the differences between stative and linking verbs. Stative verbs and linking verbs are so similar in structure that it is often difficult to tell the differences that exist between them. However, they are not totally one and the same, and the foregoing sections of this article will unveil the differences that exist between stative verbs and linking verbs. Stative verbs are verbs that indicate state of being. Unlike action verbs, these verbs do not indicate actions being performed by the subject of a sentence, rather they indicate the state of being of the subject. For example, to be, look, seem, own, feel, know, etc. Examples in sentences include, she feels great. They are happy. He looks tensed. I own a mansion. She seems okay. Stative verbs are classified into different categories: states, cognition, possession, and emotion. States, as the name implies, is a category of stative verbs that has to do with the state of the subject. It indicates the subject's condition at a point in time. For example, the room is hot. This food is heavy. She seems quite muscular. They look adorable. James appears prepared. Cognition. Cognition is a category of stative verbs that is concerned with the mind. It deals with the faculty of reasoning, thought process. For example, I know the secret. I thought about the offer. They understood the situation. She remembered the old man. Possession. Possession is another subcategory of stative verbs that is concerned with the state of ownership. It has to do with the condition of ownership by subjects of a sentence. For example, he owns the luxurious mansion. They have a chihuahua. She possesses great qualities. Mark bears the burden. Tina occupies the position. Emotion. Emotion is the last subcategory of stative verbs, and it is concerned with the state of emotions of the subject of a sentence. Such verbs indicate emotions in a sentence. For example, it feels wrong. He likes the job. She loves working with this company. Mark enjoys her company. Cynthia hates delays. Basically, stative verbs indicate state of being of subjects at different levels. Even though they often take direct objects when they are transitive, they do not indicate actions being performed by the subject of a sentence. Rather, the hint at states like emotions, ownership, cognition, etc. For instance, their objects in sentences with stative verbs are not receivers of an action because the subject does not perform any action when it is followed by a stative verb, but the objects in such sentences are related to the subject in that they form part of the subject's state of being. For example, he has a car. A car in the sentence is not receiving any action from the subject, he, rather it forms part of the state of being of the subject as the object of ownership of the subject. As a result, the subject is a car owner. There is a difference between the example above and this: he drove the car. Here we have an action verb, drove, and the recipient of the action of driving is the car, but it is a different case in the example before this where ownership of the car forms the state of being of the subject, he. Linking verb. Linking verbs are verbs that join subjects to their complements. They are verbs primarily used to link the subject of a sentence to its complement, words that describe the subject or indicate its qualities. The main linking verb is the verb to be. For example, I am excited. He was writing. It was really amazing. They were so exhausted. John was always a greedy person. You would notice that none of the examples above has an object. This is because what we are interested in when dealing with linking verbs is the description of the subject or its qualities. Linking verbs connect subjects in sentences to subject complements, words that describe or re-identify a subject. Example 5 above may tempt you to think that it has a direct object, but it does not. Their reason being that a greedy person, which is the element that comes after the linking verb was in the sentence, also refers to the subject, John. So John is not carrying out any action on a greedy person. But a greedy person is what describes John. and can be used as another name for John. So stative verbs and linking verbs are very similar that they often interlap. However, they have certain features that distinguish them from each other, one of which is that stative verbs can take direct objects without indicating actions, while linking verbs do not take objects under any circumstances. Another point is that stative verbs can indicate cognition, ownership, emotion and state, while linking verbs are used to connect subjects to subject complements. See you soon.